So do you guys like Vince Vaughn?
Do you like Freaky Friday?
What about horror movies that are kind of crappy?
And do you love Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Maybe some really good, strong female characters? If you said yes to at least 3 of those things, you're going to want to keep watching.
Let's get freaky. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Welcome back to Wolf Sister Reviews. I'm your host, Jess. This is my sister.
I'm Minnie.
And we just wanted to quickly apologize for not having a video in August. We have been sick. Our families have been sick.
Yeah.
Not COVID related, thank
No.
God. Knock on some wood. They're finally feeling better, ready to get back at it. And so we're ready to dive in and tell you all about this movie that we watched. And before we get started, please like and subscribe down below. Please, we love having you here, and we hope you enjoy our videos.
And the more you guys comment, the more it's just going to help us know what TV shows or movies are relevant to you that you're actually interested in. So definitely make sure you're commenting as well. We really want to review stuff that you guys want us to, and not just stuff that we are interested in, essentially.
Yeah, we like everything. We like an array of things. That's why we wanted to do this channel. We love talking about it, hearing different points of view on it. And so we're really excited.
This month we watched I believe it was HBO Max.
Yes.
But you can actually watch it through Hulu if you have the HBO Max subscription with Hulu. So just know that you can watch it on Hulu if you'd like. But this month we did the movie called Freaky.
Yep, it was released in October of 2020, but it seems to be like a new release on HBO Max, though.
Yeah, and so this one is a comedy thriller. I don't categorize it as scary. It is suspenseful, definitely, but it's more on the comedic side.
Yeah. I mean, it's got Vince Vaughn. I was pretty much waiting for Vince Vaughn to say something witty or corny, like, the whole time. And even when he was the bad guy, I was a little let down, like, is he going to say anything? Like, it's Vince Vaughn. Come on.
Yeah, so the plot line of this was, think of Freaky Friday, the really old show.
Even the one with Lindsay Lohan,
yeah,
where they swap places.
It's basically a teenage girl swaps places with a serial killer, hence the thriller part of the show, and that's essentially how it happens, right? They swap bodies, and now they have 24 hours or something to swap back, and so it's just a race against time.
Yep, it involves mystical knife, like mystical body swap, a blonde badass in a red leather jacket in high school with nerdy friends, gay friend trio situation. More I go on, the more I have to point out how many Buffy episodes are seen throughout this whole show. Can you tell me? I loved it because of that.
Yeah, so think about all the other scary movies. There are so many cliches.
Yes.
That, it's very classic type moments. Number one that kind of stands out is the victim is running, and somehow the bad guy walks and can keep up with the running victim.
And everything.
In this particular instance, it made me laugh harder because of the fact that she's in a beaver costume.
I know, so she's really meant to go slow.
She is actually running, but how much can you really run when you're constricted in this suit? Plus, it's probably really heavy, etc. So I just laughed extra hard because I was like, in this particular moment, I get why he's catching up to her, because this suit that she's wearing is really slowing her down. But it was, a cliche moment. The beginning was very cliche for me, where it was teenagers and they separate to go do their whole sexy time
let's get
moments. And then that's when, appears the killer and different things like that. And then they run away and they try to hide, which I thought the hiding place for that girl was really great.
Right, but why didn't she stay there?
But she got out. She got out. And I was
how random that she didn't have her cell phone. This was a newer horror film and they didn't have their cell phones on them at all times. Yeah. Really? I would, you obviously stay in the room and call for help.
Yeah.
But as soon as she heard Daddy honk, it was like, Daddy, he's going to save me.
Yeah. And so, of course, stupid happens, and you're just like...
But it's a show. It was... I still enjoyed the cliches, and I like the twist that they put on it, like the whole Freaky Friday twist, and loved it so much, because it reminded me of Buffy. There was just so many aspects that did. If you're a Buffy fan, I suggest you go watch it, and I'm serious. Like, count how many things are just pulled right out of Buffy.
That being said, let's go into favorite moments.
Favorite moments. What were your favorite moments there, Minnie?
There were quite a few. So, pretty much everything about Vince Vaughn in this show, my favorite. Everything. I mean, it reminds me of the times with Rob Schneider.
Oh my God, that's what I was going to say. And when they put the earring on, and then Rob Schneider.
So, when Rob Schneider, what was that movie called?
The Hot Chick.
The Hot Chick. So, it gives you all those feels. Vince Vaughn pretending to be a girl.
Just so perfect.
My favorite of the whole show. I just could not get over how well he was performing at trying to be literally, okay, so he's what, 6 foot, maybe 6'5". I don't really know his actual height, but he is a big guy. And the blonde that he's supposed to be impersonating or acting like, she's like 4 foot.
No,
so,
5'5", she said.
She's still short.
Yeah,
like there is it just looks like a huge difference. And so when he's running, for instance, the way that he runs, I just kept laughing because it was very dainty, like but it's this big grown man that's just running
then when he hits the tree and he's like, I am huge.
Yeah, it's like, I'm ginormous. Yeah. It was just funny. And then the moments where he's like talking to Booker about the poem. He's like, I wrote you this poem, and he starts going on. Well, I thought, okay, the poem's going to be 2 lines. Like, da-da-da-da-da-da. And then, the whole scene just keeps going.
A monologue.
And it is not a poem. Like, it's a whole sonnet. Like, it's almost like the lyrics to a song. Like, that's how long it kept going. And I was like, what is happening right now? Like, this is too long. You're like, it just, to me,
it's starting to become like this romantic, creepy thing.
Like, the directors were like, we got to push this moment. We really got to push it and drive this to, like, be what we want it to be. And it was totally fine, but it was just like, why is it going so long? That's really, it made me start to feel uncomfortable because it's Vince Vaughn speaking love terms to this teenage boy, and so it was just like, okay, this is getting into like creepy territory. Can we pull it back a little bit, just maybe a little bit? But yeah, so I think most of the moments for me were just anything where Vince Vaughn had to really take it up a notch to be that blonde little short girl that's a teenager.
Yeah. My favorite was like the whole kind of message that the whole show gave about like self-care.
Yes.
And the whole like female empowerment aspect was really, really good. Because, I know we see it in a lot of shows these days, but in a horror film, it was really, again, like Buffy, it was, even though she didn't like get superpowers, she realized that even with everything going on and all the sadness in her life and everything going on with her mom and feeling the need to care, be the main source of like codependency and stuff with her mom.
Yeah.
She realized her own strength and her own power. I mean, even the last line of the movie was like, I am a fucking piece. Like, she throughout this whole thing, she realizes her own power. She realizes how important self-care is. Her friends are encouraging her at self-care. Even that moment with Vince Vaughn and the mom and when they're in the dressing room and they're talking and she's like working out her stuff, but she doesn't know she's talking to her own daughter. Like, I like that it's supported, the self-care aspect.
Yeah.
Even though it was a horror film and had a lot of cliches, I really liked that. That was one of my favorite things about it.
Yeah, so a couple other moments. So the bathroom scene where Vince Vaughn is going to the bathroom and he's in there and he's all, his bladder's huge. There's so much.
Then you hear him whipping it around.
And then he's all, am I supposed to wipe? And it's like a genuine question.
He's like,
for a girl who's not used to having a member, like, do you wipe?
His response to his penis was just a little lackluster because it was just kind of like he was whipping it around like an airplane and like you hear the slapping, but I would have expected more of a like for her as like a young virgin to be, more surprised by what all that looks like down there.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other one was when they're like, he's chasing them to catch up to them in the kitchen area of the school. And like, he's like, would you quit hitting me? Would you just stop it? And then he ends up like they're taking like spoons at him and he's just like, stop.
I love
like the whole, it's not a fight scene, but like, it's like a running away, trying to defend themselves with whatever is kind of available. That was really funny to me.
And for there to be in a kitchen and then there to be nothing lethal for them to access was kind of funny. Like everything they were finding was something that was non-lethal and they're in a kitchen, for God's sakes.
Yeah. So
but I
thought that was funny.
I loved how it ended though, where they finally believe it's that it's her. Yes. And he's like, I just need somebody so bad right now. And you guys are like throwing stuff at me and you're like hitting me.
Yeah. Like I said, he acted like a girl.
He
so
did.
It was like every moment where he like really honed in on that teenage girl aspect. I loved every one of those moments.
He did a great job. He was my favorite character throughout the whole thing. Even as the bad guy or as Millie. He just did outstanding the whole time. Even Millie, the actress, I've seen her in other things like Supernatural, and I love her. It sounds like we loved so much about it. Was there anything you didn't like about it?
Well, I really wasn't a fan of the mom.
Oh, like, was it that she was going through what she was going through and being like a drunk?
Yeah, like I understood the whole thing, and it wasn't Millie being attached to her mom so much as it was her mom was like, I'm latching onto you because I don't know what else to latch onto that makes me feel good and makes me feel safe. Mm-hmm. And I felt like, as a mother myself, I would never latch onto my kids and make them responsible for my feelings and make them feel like they're in charge of making me feel good and making me feel happy. And so I was really not liking that aspect of the mother in the show because she was just, pay attention to me. Don't go to homecoming with your friends and your, guys that you might like. You come do stuff with me.
I think that's the message they wanted to send with her character, but the actress, I think the problem I had with it was the actress kind of overplayed it. She didn't really play like she was that codependent, but they wanted us, from the comments that her sister made and then the comments her friend made, they wanted us all to think that her mom was being codependent and overbearing. But the actress herself wasn't really, it felt overplayed to me. Because she had her moments where it felt genuine, like when she was talking to him in the dressing room. That felt, I was like, okay, like I could get on board with the mom.
And the teacher, the science, the wood shop teacher.
That was overplayed as well. I mean, it was over exaggerated. Yeah. He said every cliche in the book to her in the classroom to like, taunt her to instigate like an argument, to put like every put down you could think of, every, like, he was your classic narcissistic character, like everything that happened was her fault. Even when he was like, I couldn't help but laugh when she pulled up the screwdriver and then he knocked her down or whatever, and then he did his whole like self-defense. And all of his actions towards a tiny, like, teenage girl on her, it was just like, I was like, but it made you love the fact that she got to kill him.
Yeah, but then they died. The other thing that I was thinking on, like, on that side of things is like, okay, you've got the cliche mean girls, the ones that bully her. And then when she got to class, I was expecting, like, this is where it shows you, like, she has a better relationship with the teachers and that the teachers see that she's constantly bullied, because that's kind of the other cliche things that happen in
instead the
TV shows. But instead, like, this teacher was basically bullying her at the same time as all of these students. And I was like, what is his deal? Like, is he just a very unhappy older man? Like, that he feels like he needs to pick on this 16-year-old girl? Like, that's not okay. That's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
So I would I like to read into things, and I like to kind of look ahead and think, oh, this is how I think this is going to happen. That's what I do when I watch shows. And so this one in particular, I was like, oh, he's going to get it. Like, I know from reading the plot line, like, that she's going to be the one that switches places with the serial killer. And I swear, I was just like, he's going to die. She is going to go after him. And it's not as her, it's as the serial killer. But the serial killer almost knew who she didn't like and literally killed every person that she didn't
Everyone
like.
that was a problem in her life, like the bad guy took care of.
Yeah, but it was like they don't know because their whole being kind of swapped places. So it's not like the serial killer had any idea that teacher was a dildo. Like he didn't. How was he supposed to know? But the people that he ends up killing, it just goes along with like the people that are the worst to her, and it was almost like he, as the serial killer in the girl's body, was like, "Don't talk to me like that. Like I'll slit your throat." And so every time somebody was mean, he was like,
that's the twist that I'm talking about in the beginning when I said all the twists. Like, I love how it was transposed like that.
Yeah.
Like we loved all the people that he was killing because we were happy to see them die because of how they treated her. Yeah, so that was really great. I love that. There was towards the end of the film, I loved the part where the friends are telling telling her, like, there's no way we're leaving you alone. And I instantly got that, I instantly sparked back to that part in Buffy where Willow's like, you're the Slayer and we're like the Slayerettes. And in my mind, I'm thinking, he's the Slayer, albeit like an evil one, but they were like the Slayerettes, aka like her groupies.
Another moment that I didn't like.
Oh, yeah, more you didn't like.
Yeah. You already know this one because we were talking about it before we recorded, but it's the moment
we don't normally do. Yeah. I tell you, we do it all fresh right here in front of y'all so we can have like a genuine conversation, but I was catching up. She's right.
The moment when they're in the car, so Booker and Millie, as the serial killer, are sitting in the back of a car waiting for the other friend to come back out or like give them a sign that they can go in or whatever. And they're having like a little heart to heart and whatever. Well, the Booker says to the serial killer, is it bad that I want to kiss you? And I immediately to the TV, I was like, yes, that's bad. Ew, let's not do this. And so as they start going in, I literally just started screaming ew at the TV because ew, like just ew. Vince Vaughn is an attractive guy, Booker's an attractive guy, but the whole, like, after the poem, I started getting, like, pedophile vibes, and it was not happening for me. So then in the car, when it's happening again, and they're, like, actually going in to do it, I was just like, this is not okay. Gross. Stop it. And, like, then I found myself laughing at the fact that I was so, like, grossed out by it. Because it was, they had to do it. It was acting. They, they didn't really have a choice, but
they did great. They did that scene so good.
I didn't like it. It was not ew.
I loved it.
I think it's though that I don't know that Vince Vaughn's teeth are really that yellow, but like that was also a factor for me. Was that they like they made
he
him
did mention he's like you're kissing a mass murderer. With
they made him look really unhygienic. And so that was the other part was like,
why would you? Why? Blah, blah. I mean, the kid's being romantic and all. Like, I only see Millie.
I only see Millie.
But the whole yellow teeth thing is that's a legit. Like
no, it was gross.
I have a hard time with that. Oh, and not another Buffy thing. I mean, you know how it ended, right?
The time
at the show. Like, how did she kill the guy? How did she kill the guy at the end? No, at the end. At the end. She put a freaking stake through his heart. Like she put a stake through him and then kicked it into him. Yes. I mean, come on, guys. Like, I was like, yes. Like,
I forgot about that part. Yes.
I mean, I do love that all three of them attacked him as well. I love that like all of them were in on it. I was like, yes, score. And then I love that she finally was the one to be like, and did a stake right through him. I was like, yes, of course.
Yeah. But it was funny because when they had him in the ambulance, the serial killer, after everything, they had him in the ambulance and it was like, oh, he's flatlining, whatever, he's dead. And I'm sitting there and I'm all, no, he's not.
He's not dead.
He's not dead.
Especially when you
He's
knew
not
there was
dead.
more of the movie left. You're like, he's not
Yeah.
dead because there's something else.
Well, I didn't even notice that there was more time in the movie. I just was like, he's not dead. And so I wrote down and I was like, there's going to be a twist where they say he's dead and he's not dead. So either it's going to basically open up for a sequel or something more is coming. And I wrote that. I wrote it down in my notebook. And sure enough, he comes back with a vengeance and he's just like, no, you don't deserve to live. Essentially he's getting mad because he was supposed to kill her in the first place. Then they swapped bodies. Then she got her body back and he's like, I'm finishing what I started. So he's going back to the one person that was not killable, essentially. The scene after Millie wakes up as the butcher and she's in the kitchen and she's like, weird. She's acting really weird. She's just acting like she's a mute person. Like she can't talk. There's no like two-way communication going on at all.
Because psychopaths apparently don't speak.
The mom goes to answer the door and then Millie grabs the knife off the counter and her sister walks in and I'm like, why is the sister acting like this is normal for her to stand there like like, why is she acting like that's completely okay and she's not, like, freaked out by it at all?
Well, you heard the mom at the door to the mailman. She's shocked. She's in shock. She'll be okay.
Right. But that's still, if I walk downstairs and I see my sister staring all weird, like, with the knife doing this, not like, in the process of cutting anything, but, like, legit standing like this, I'm gonna be like, what you doing? What? Should I go? I'm not gonna stay in the room with you because you look like you're about to stab somebody. Like, I wouldn't be like, hi, how are you feeling this morning? You doing okay? You know, blah, blah, blah. No, I would not do that. I would be freaked out that somebody's standing there with this death glare about to stab me with this giant kitchen knife. Like,
I think she's lying. I'll tell you this right now because I grew up with this one and I tower over her and she was never afraid of me. I don't think it would have made a difference if I had a knife in my hand. She would have got on the floor, stuck her feet in the air, and I would have been down 0 for 50. Like, she would have just kicked the knife out of my hand. I would have lost. I mean, she's like, what, 5'3"? I'm 6 feet tall. And it's, like, historically been this way. I don't think she'd actually be afraid.
What did you give it? Like, rating-wise, what did you give it?
I gave it 4 out of 5 stars.
Really?
Yeah, And largely probably because of how much Buffy is in here. So what about you?
I gave it 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah, because my thing
for a horror story was so good.
Yeah, my thing is like I like horror and I like to be scared. So everything was just too cliche for me. So for me, coming from like that horror,
even with all the twists and like the transpose, like
it didn't nothing scared me. I wasn't afraid to watch it. And I knew, like, I could read what was happening and what was about to come. So there was no scary for my behalf. And to be fair, it does say it's a comedy thriller or a comedy horror. And so you kind of have to expect one of them is not going to be as great as the other when it's a split genre like that. But I wish there was something like that. Some part of it was a little more scary so that I could have enjoyed it that much more. However, I will say, they were very creative with the way they killed people in this particular movie.
I agree. I thought it. I wrote that in my notes. It was innovative as far as
every time they killed somebody with something that you just wouldn't think. I wrote it down. I was like, okay, death by this, death by that. So some of the really weird ones was death by wine bottle. And no, it's not what you're thinking. When you watch it, you'll see what I mean. But it is not in any way, shape, or form the kind of death by wine bottle that you would expect.
Right.
Then there's death by tennis racket. Super weird. Don't know how that even happened and how that could be real, but great for stepping outside and like not just sticking to a kitchen knife or a chainsaw, you know, like those are the very cliche things.
He used really what was around him.
Yeah,
so it was
nice. Like
he just like
what out of convenience,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Oh, that's there. Let me find a way to kill him with this. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was really great, and that in and of itself set it apart and above some of these other scary, like real scary movies where it's like a real horror and they stick to these particular objects for killing. I liked that they stepped outside of that and they're like, oh, let's use this. Let's find a way to use this. Let's incorporate this. So I really liked those aspects as well.
Another fun fact. Bear McCreary is the one who wrote the music.
Who's that?
He is the guy who writes the music for Lord of the Rings, Outlander, a ton other.
Well, we are very happy that you could join us again today. If there are any movies or TV shows that you're looking for us to watch and review here, please don't hesitate to comment below, and we will definitely put them in the queue if we get enough people that want that same show.
Yeah, comment and subscribe. We need more subscribers. We love being here with you guys. Any likes, comments will really help us out. We're happy to be here and look forward to our next review.
Okay, hope you all have a great rest of your September. Look for our next video coming out in October.
Keep shining, folks.
Bye.
Bye.